This is the Government Week in Review for the week ending Friday, November 3rd, 2023. I am Rikisha St. Louis. In the headlines, Ministry of Health and Wellness commits to addressing critical health challenges. We'll have details to this and other stories after the break.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it's crucial for us to conserve water at home. When washing my vehicle, I use a bucket with rainwater that I have stored. This is how I save water. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back. Senior managers in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs have accompanied their minister, Honorable Jonathan Lacrette, on tour of several health facilities across the island. The ministry's Senior Health Promotions, Communications and Public Information Officer, Kevin Frederick, is part of the delegation.
The continuous assessment of healthcare facilities, staff performance and customer satisfaction are of equal importance to the overall delivery of healthcare services and access at all levels, which the Deacon Mitchell-led administration is assiduously giving its attention. By now you know, Health Minister Senator the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette and his primary healthcare management team have been putting measures in place to address major concerns head-on, especially at the community level. Minister Lacrette, who is familiar with some of the concerns, is not shying away, but instead is determined to tackle the priority issues in a systematic way to improve services.
We wanted to ensure that we touch base with all of the clinicians because sometimes, Kevin, when you get to the management level, you tend to get a bit comfortable. And I didn't want the management to get comfortable. I wanted to ensure that even the medical director of hospital services, etc., the CMO is usually out in the community, as well as the senior medical officer for primary health care and chronic disease, etc. But when you bring the entire management out, I believe that everybody receives a greater appreciation for what the nurses face and what they go through on a daily basis. And also the patients, when they come to the clinics, what are some of the challenges that they have, so that we can see how we can remedy these challenges for 2024 one by one.
The island's health minister added,
there are some general things that we can certainly get done, but I believe that the assessment and analysis that we are conducting right now is extremely important as we come to the final stages of our budget consultation as well, so that we know how we're budgeting, why we're budgeting, especially for the retrofitting and reconstruction of some of the medical stations and the smarting of those medical stations as well, so that you can make life comfortable for the clinicians as well as the patients.
He said,
we have put together a plan for the training of nurses next year, as well as healthcare assistants, but healthcare assistants in the first instance so that they can help bolster the skills gap that we have while we take some time to train nurses, because you do know it takes about 4 years to train a nurse. Yes, but we did notice that we still have some infrastructural work to do in some of the medical stations, but material resources as well as human resource are two of the foregoing things that jumped out at us as a team. We are extremely excited. We have earmarked the years 2024 to 2027 as the years of health sector modernization, and we do have some strategic plans in place to ensure that we modernize incrementally, and of course the nation is going to be informed, and they're going to hear about those modernization objectives and strategic imperatives that we've put together for this sector. But primary healthcare is going to be at the top of our list as it relates to high focus. We do have some big ticket items, and they are medium term to long term, but we want to ensure that we have a very strong primary healthcare structure and infrastructure as we move forward, because we believe from a medical perspective as well as technical perspective, if we get primary healthcare right, every other tertiary healthcare institution that comes is going to have a very strong, solid base to stand on, because primary healthcare is running very smoothly.
Another key member of the team is Mrs. Carol Telesford Charles, Chief Community Health Nurse.
As you are aware, a number of facilities have been refurbished, and some new ones. For example, we had Gov some years ago, then we had Victoria, which we recommissioned this year. We also had Good Hope, right, and we continue. So we're in the parish of St. David's, and Wester Hall was one of the recent refurbished ones. But when we look at Pegmont and Vincent's medical stations, these are two facilities that really need some facelift and some refurbishment, and we know that there is commitment, and for the 2024 budget we're hopeful and we know that they are going to be addressed.
Reporting, Kevin Frederick, Senior Health Promotions, Communications and Public Information Officer, Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs.
The 4th Annual Investment Migration Forum was launched in Grenada during this week with a focus on Grenada's Citizenship by Investment program. Managing Director of Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, Larry Lawrence, highlighted the importance of the CBI program to the Grenadian economy. The forum is an undertaking by the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and the Citizenship by Investment Unit.
We all understand and agree that the investment migration program is a major contributor to Grenada's economy, one which has been steadily increasing over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt about the role of the investment migration program and what it plays in our economy, one which will enable us to execute several meaningful projects for the benefits of the people of Grenada.
Lawrence explained that it is important to sensitize the populace on the sustainable sector of the economy.
We are aware that the Grenada Citizens by Investment Unit has been working rather assiduously on the action plans highlighted from previous roundtable engagements, one of which is to, of course, demystify CBI to the Grenadian public. One that is of importance as a local institution, of course, is the sensitization to the Grenadian public. So there is therefore a need to continue to educate our population on the operations and the benefits of the program, to reduce and to eventually eliminate the unjustified stigma associated with CBI.
The forum was attended by government officials, industry experts and investors. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell called for renewed vision and unity as the country journeys toward its Golden Jubilee on February 7th, 2024. During the 50th Independence Celebration launch earlier this week, Prime Minister Mitchell said the changes made today as a country will be remembered by and will benefit generations to come. He emphasized that now is the time to reset and rethink to shape the next 50 years of Grenada's future.
This is our journey. This is our people. And we are doing this for our future. Together, united, stronger, going up, 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 going up, 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 going up, 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 up. That the future of Grenada is yours. And it is a future that we will continue to fight for, but not fight with each other. A future that will allow us to disagree, but not sink to disunity. A future that will give every child, regardless of whether they're born in Brunswick in Carriacou, or Leicester, or Belle Isle, or La Poterie, or Pearls, or Guankai, that the future of Grenada belongs to you, and that you have the ability, just like Kirani James, to rise from Guelph and to shake the planet on the biggest sporting stage and make every Grenadian tremble with pride at your amazing accomplishment.
Dr. Wendy Crawford, chairperson of the National Organizing Committee, highlighted activities for the year-long 50th anniversary, including National Colors Day, Parade, Village Beautification, Calypso Monarch, Governor General's Gala, among others.
Together, we are on a journey towards a destiny of unity, peace, tolerance, prosperity, and social justice for all. We are mindful that there will always be obstacles to overcome on that journey, but we are fearless, focused, and unafraid of challenges. So, as we embark on the road to 50, the NOC salutes the government of Grenada for its bold and inspiring leadership. And we ask for God's guidance as we embark on nationally fulfilling activities and events to mark our 50th anniversary on independence.
The launch saw cultural and entertainment performances as well as firework display. New tracks will soon be laid at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Work is scheduled to commence in January 2024 for an estimated 4 to 5 weeks as the country prepares to host the 51st Carifta Games in March. As a result, schools that utilize the facility to host the annual athletic meet will move to alternative venues. Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Ron Redhead, says work is in motion to upgrade the Roy St. John playing field and the Progress Park to serve as alternative venues for schools to host athletic meets.
We are upgrading the canteen facility. We are ensuring that we can complete the drainage there. We are doing everything that we can to fast track the lighting of it, and we are also ensuring that Progress Park, notwithstanding the fire with the school just occurred, is going to be ready and available for all athletes so that they can continue their preparations for Carifta 2024. So that's just in a nutshell what we are doing in terms of augmenting the use of the Kirani James Athletic Stadium.
Minister Redhead says the plan is to ensure that the facility will be ready for the staging of the Intersecondary School Games March 19th to 21st, 2024.
Well, the 5 weeks is maximum, and it will entail certainly from the preparation. The contractor has to make the materials and ship it. That will take approximately 4 to 5 weeks to reach. So by the time January 2024, the materials should be on island. We have already spoken to the contractor to ensure that shipping time is going to be kept, and so that we can be in a position to actually have the tracks relayed before Carifta 2024. It's going to be in time for intercall as well, but what we want to do is to ensure that by and large for Carifta, that the tracks will be in place.
Grenada's National Cricket Stadium will also undergo major repairs and an upgrade. The major work will commence in 2024 as Grenada is set to host 2 T20 matches in the West Indies home series against England, December 14th and 16th.
Work is currently ongoing. We had to make several changes, which also included the electrical facilities for lights. They were never in place, and therefore for the cricket stadium in particular, we had to redo some of the assessments, and so we spoke to the Chinese about that. We spoke to the People's Republic of China for ensuring that we could get the manuals this time in English and not Mandarin. So these were some of the things that we had to do, and these things take a process. It can't happen in 1 year, and we may not see it happening in 2 years. Again, the duration for the refurbishment of the cricket stadium is approximately 18 months.
Will that in any way hamper the cricket?
No, so we are commencing full-scale repairs after in the 2024 period and not within this period. So the cricket, T20 cricket in December will go on as planned.
Major work on the cricket stadium will commence in full after the 50th Independence Anniversary celebration in February 2024. Grenada joined other CARICOM states this week in recognizing Energy Month 2023 under the theme Accelerating Innovation, Driving Electrification, Powering Transport. During the month of November, the Ministry of Climate Resilience and Renewable Energy will raise awareness on the need to embark on energy-efficient conservation. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, Perron Johnson, outlined projects and initiatives that are on stream toward the transition. The Limle PV solar installation project in carriacou will be completed at the end of November.
Another renewable source we are
currently exploring is that of geothermal. We are therefore working with development partners such as the Caribbean Development Bank and the World Bank to ensure that we can explore various opportunities at 2 sites to determine the viability of electricity production. While we are aware that this is a long-term project, we remain very committed and focused in undertaking this task in a very systematic and strategic manner. We are not just only speaking of looking at alternative and efficiency in the area of the energy sector. We are also looking at efficiency and also in the transportation sector.
Environmental Officer Christopher Joseph said Grenada has geothermal potential. He said environmental research will continue into the possibility of exploration.
At the moment, the government of Grenada is pursuing an initiative whereby we can develop or explore. Where we are in that process, thankfully, through the governments of New Zealand and Japan, we have been able to, since 2014, to do various things to take us up to where we are currently, to be able to identify if there's a resource. Incidentally, since the revolutionary days, it has been identified that there is geothermal resources. So building on what had happened during the revolutionary days, 2014, we have been able to establish that indeed there is a geothermal potential, there is a resource. We though now have to investigate further because the science indicates that there is a resource, but we need to prove that there is a resource. And the only way that that can be proved is through doing some exploration. We need to do some drilling to be able to get down to where the resource is, and that is heat, it is steam. Steam in hot water is essentially the resource, and this is what is being investigated as part of the next phase.
Several activities will be held to commemorate Energy Month. An exhibition will be held on November 10th at Bruce Street, Kilo Walks on November 17th, 21st and 24th at St. George, St. John and Carriacou respectively. A photo and video competition will be held throughout the month. The winner will be announced on November 30th. This is the Government Week in Review. When we return, health workers and police officers making significant strides in their respective areas.
Your new GRENLEC bill is even easier to read and still has all the valuable information you need to track and manage your usage.
Hey Mom, okay, your friendly tech support is here. So you got the new GRENLEC bill? Let's take a look. The new bill makes it even easier to see your bill total, the due date, and much more. And take a closer look. It actually is a lot easier to understand. Let me show you. You can still see exactly what the charges are for, but in a great new format, it even shows how the cost of generating and delivering the electricity to you is calculated using your actual usage. Anyway, look who says hi, and see you soon.
Your new GRENLEC bill, easier to understand and easier to track your usage.
Welcome back. A number of nurses and midwives are now certified in the area of nursing technology of maternal health following the conclusion of a theoretical and hands-on training course held at the General Hospital. We have more in this report.
26 nurses have completed their 3-week training course on neonatal, preterm and maternal care at the General Hospital and are now better equipped with the knowledge to improve midwifery and maternal health in Grenada. The course was facilitated by health experts of the Hunan Children's Hospital in the People's Republic of China, and topics included the identification of critical illnesses during pregnancy and neonatal period, pediatric and neonatal cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and caring for preterm newborns. Minister of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, Senator the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette, is hopeful that the bilateral relationship between Grenada and China would yield further fruits for both countries.
if we can have one every quarter for 2024 to reskill and upskill our nurses, that would be excellent in various areas, and I think it would augur well for the development of the health sector.
He acknowledges that the course augurs well for the government's plan for the health sector for 2024.
We have branded the year 2024 as the year of health sector modernization. And the modernization that is going to come to the sector, the improvement as well that is going to come to the sector, is not going to come only through infrastructural refurbishment. That is good. That is well. It's not only going to come through developing the human resource, but it's also going to come through training. The training is what is going to improve the skill set of our clinicians or our medical practitioners across the entire state. I can stand and speak about it that fluently because it is a part of me. We live and breathe it every day at the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, and because we are planning for it, we can definitely stand and orate what we desire to see happen in the health sector. We have a lot of weaknesses and many challenges to overcome in the next couple of years to come. But I believe that if we start somewhere, we can definitely make some significant inroads.
Minister Lacrette expressed his joy that the participants have garnered new skill sets that will go a long way in maternal and preterm health care in Grenada.
To the 26 of you who participated and you were able to garner some new skill set, reskill and upskill the clinical skills that you learned a couple of years ago, and now you're sharpening your repertoire of skills. Congratulations to you. Hats off to you. In 2023, you participated in this training and it really assisted you in becoming a better clinician. And that is what we want to see happen, that the theory translates into practical, and not just skill but attitude.
Reporting for the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, I am Blossom Alexis Welsh.
Meanwhile, 28 police officers of the Royal Grenada Police Force were recently promoted to the rank of sergeant and are now participating in a sergeant development course to equip them with the skills to be effective leaders and supervisors. The first cohort of 2023 will be engaged for 2 weeks. The course commenced on November 1st. It covers leadership, operational planning, emotional intelligence, budgeting and resource procurement, to name a few. Acting Commissioner Don McKenzie reminded the officers that they have an order to enhance the operations of the force and prepare their subordinates for the roles ahead.
If you apply yourself and assimilate the training, you will be in a much better place. A, to develop yourself, and B, to provide effective leadership to the persons under your charge. And your aim should be to prepare someone to take your place. Now that may sound scary, but I've also found during my career that persons were denied positions for upward mobility because the junior officer, they couldn't find someone to do their job. So as a result, they got stuck. As leaders, you prepare subordinates to take over.
Also speaking at the opening ceremony was Commandant of the Police Training School, Superintendent Tafawa Pei.
As Commandant, I just want to stress the importance of supervision. And this training program is not just an ordinary opportunity, but it's a step towards enhancing leadership, team management, and organizational effectiveness within our organization. The fact is that if you are to become a decent leader, you must be able to lead during crisis. It is easy to lead when everything is going well. It's a totally different matter to lead when things are not going well, when there might be a crisis, which is almost bound to happen because we are engaged in an organization that treats with law enforcement. The Chief Instructor did remind you that you are now at the middle, and so you are expected to provide support to the top and support to the bottom.
Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of Human Resource, Randy Connaught, told the sergeants that they need to give their best as they have a greater task ahead.
I admonish you that it is necessary to lead from where you are. Most of us think that you have to have a khaki uniform and to hold an office to be in a position of leadership. But you must lead from wherever you are in the force. The force in and of itself is very young, and getting to the top is not a difficult task. I had the opportunity to go through the ranks. I thought I was diligent in my efforts. I seized every opportunity, and opportunities are much more today than what was available in my time. So I want to implore upon you, take this course very serious. This is just another leg in the race that you will have to run as a sergeant. But do not get comfortable from where you sit.
Minister for Education, Senator the Honorable David Andrew, says his administration will focus on skills development to meet the needs of the labor market. He was speaking at a handing over ceremony during which the ministry gave several pieces of equipment to upgrade the technical vocational education and training program in the country's schools. It will benefit the 11 TVET centers serving primary schools and all participating secondary schools. 6 months ago, the ministry launched TVET expansion in primary schools under the theme TVET, Essential Skills, Fostering Inclusion, Lifelong Learning and National Development. Government has also launched the National TVET Policy. Sarana Mitchell tells us more.
Officials of the Ministry of Education distributed several pieces of equipment to teachers from both primary and secondary schools involved in the technical vocational education and training field during a ceremony held on Tuesday. Minister for Education, Senator the Honorable David Andrew, in his remarks, notes the need to change the negative attitude towards learning skills, which he says could help meet the needs of the labor market and reduce unemployment in the country. He also points out that due to his government's commitment to TVET, plans are afoot to expand the New Life organization, NULO.
You know that the TVET, Technical and Vocational Education and Training, is a priority for this administration. We recognize clearly that this is where the opportunities exist. This is where the gaps lie. This is where we need to be pushing education. We want to change the stigma that has been attached to technical education. And we are deliberate in doing that because we understand, one, technical skills is what the market needs. If we have a society that responds to the market needs, the labor market needs, then we are in a position to do well, to prosper. The societies that have advanced and that are advancing, they are advancing because the education systems can produce the people to fill the work and the labor market needs and requirements. And so we need to change the narrative that it's just about those who can't make it. And you must help us do that too. And while we cater for the entire spectrum, we just want to make sure we build your capacity as the practitioners, as the persons in the field. You can expect a lot more. You can expect the expansion in TVET offerings through centers of excellence, and you will hear more about that as we further implement the TVET policies. You can expect specific work. In fact, at the moment we are currently engaging a consultancy to expand NULO, to increase NULO's capacity to be able to absorb more students as part of the strategic pathway to facilitate skills education.
Permanent Secretary with responsibility for education, Elvis Marine, pledges the continued support of the ministry as teaching skills to the nation's students is of paramount importance. Marine also indicates that there will be opportunities in the coming year for further skill enhancement of TVET teachers.
You have our full support, and we ask you to give us your full commitment as we go through in this process. And whatever teething issues that may emerge, we stand to dialogue, we stand to find pathways for us to address this. There are many initiatives right now to enhance TVET and to upscale you as well and of course to upscale our environments, including that is carriacou as well. So we are excited, and of course in the coming year you're going to see wider rollout in TVET and greater support.
2 TVET instructors expressed their joy in finally receiving the tools.
Well, I'm very happy at this time because it's been a long time coming. We was promised tools and equipment in the past, and we haven't received anything, and seeing that we are going to be getting stuff today, it brings a joy to me.
Well, the opportunity to receive tools was exciting. I was pleased and honored, and I hope that every piece of item that's on the table is given to me for Happy Secondary.
6 months ago, the TVET expansion in primary schools was launched under the theme TVET Essential Skills, Fostering Inclusion, Lifelong Learning and National Development. There are 11 centers serving primary schools involved in TVET in the country. Sarana Mitchell reporting.
We take another break. When we return, we take a look at cultural activities in carriacou.
At the NIS, our team proudly works to support the evolving needs of Grenadians. We have made some changes to our operations and want to keep you informed. Firstly, we are happy to introduce the new unemployment benefit. This benefit will provide an insured person with 50% of his or her former income in the case of sudden unemployment. To support this benefit and other benefits we offer, it was necessary to increase the contribution rate. The contribution rate will increase gradually each year until it reaches 16% in 2031. As always, the contribution will be split between you and your employer. The pensionable age will also increase from 60 to 65 years. This increase will also be gradually reaching age 65 in 2029. Pensioners will continue to be eligible for a pension from age 60, but will receive a reduced payment. The NIS recognizes that the prices of basic customer goods are increasing globally. Therefore, we are happy to also increase the weekly minimum pension payment by 25%. Finally, we have adjusted our survivor's benefit payment to a percentage of the age pension minimum. Widows, widowers, and dependent parents will receive 100% or $58 weekly, while children will receive 50% or $29 weekly of the deceased's pension. We are here to make the transition to these new changes as clear and simple as possible. If you have any questions on how these changes impact you and your family, please contact our new informational hotline at 440-6647 or visit www.nisgrenada.org. Thank you for allowing us to be your social security provider.
Welcome back. Government has once again committed to invest $250,000 to assist the Carnival Committee with staging the major festival next year. Kayak Mass 2024, showcasing our rich culture, your passport to real mass and splendor, was officially launched on Saturday, October 28th. Minister for Sports and Culture, Honorable Ron Redhead, said the response to the festival in 2023 was commendable and government is once again lending support.
We are going to do as we did last year. We gave approximately $250,000 and we will continue on that trend. I mean, if carriacou indicates that they would like to have something a bit more, we're always generous, but we have to manage our own ability to give so much. But what we want to do different is to encourage the private sector to join and come on board and market carriacou as an actual tourism destination so that its carnival can benefit from visitors, locals alike, and foreign nationals coming back home to celebrate the 50th, but at the same time enjoy Kayak Mass 2024.
Minister for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Honorable Tevin Andrews, is happy with government's commitment to invest in the festival and implored on corporate Grenada to get involved.
Carriacou Carnival 2024 will be one of the biggest and best carnivals that we've ever seen in the history of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique and the region. And in order for that to happen, we need all hands on deck to make it a reality. So from the private sector, we are calling on you to contribute and to make your necessary sponsorship available to the kayak mass. The government of Grenada will lead in that regard. Last year, the government of Grenada, through the good Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Lotto, contributed roughly $250,000. And through the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, we contributed over $150,000. And the intention is to contribute even more next year so that we can grow and develop this mecca, this culture, this rich tradition, kayak mass. You can't experience it anywhere else but Carriacou.
Chair of the Carriacou Carnival Committee, Princess Harry John, outlined the events for Carriacou Carnival, announcing the reintroduction of Canbule and the twinning of Groovy and Soca Monarch.
On Thursday, February 8th, we will have our Queen Show. We call it Majestic Thursday. Friday 9th, the Soca Monarch and Groovy. So this year we'll be twinning the Soca and Groovy show. Saturday, the 10th, we have our Soca Fete. Sunday 11th, we also have a twist, so we're having carriacou and Canbule over the years before Canbule played a major role on the Sunday night, so this year we'll be twinning carriacou and Canbule. Monday will be our Juve, Fancy Mass and Monday Night Mass later on. Tuesday, the unique Shakespeare Mass and Parade of the Bands and Last Slap.
In related news, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Javon Williams, has appealed to mass band leaders in Carriacou to portray what is unique and authentic to Carriacou for its 2024 Carnival celebrations. He was speaking at the launch of the festival, which saw the showcasing of costumes, Monday night mass packages, steel pan, and performances from soca and calypso artists.
As a citizen, a unique set of people, we tend to deviate from what we know. And we adapt what we think is pleasing and is popular. But as our team is saying, showcase our rich culture, the young ones in particular. Use the time coming up for Kayak Mass to dialogue with the seniors. Understand what is our culture. The history showed that we came from the Arak and Carib. We have British and French development over the years. What do we know? What are we showcasing? Do not look for the nice, fancy costumes that you see on TV from other cultures. Understand what is your culture. Let us showcase our culture. That is how we can display the splendor for Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Director of Spice Mass Corporation, Christopher Phillip, told the patrons that the SMC does not see their involvement as a sponsorship, but more of a partnership.
We have recently completed our Spice Mass 2023. And we are eager and willing to assist in any way possible to ensure that Kayak Mass 2024 is a resounding success. I want to implore you that you should not lose the value of your carnival. As one of the speakers mentioned before, the rich history and tradition in your Kayak Mass. We saw a taste of it in Grenada at our last carnival, and it was an overwhelming success. So in all the revelry, in all the fun, in all the frolic, we should all try our best to ensure that our culture, our tradition is preserved.
Product Development Officer of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Rena Mills, and the Marketing Manager of Ariza Credit Union, Josephine Walters, both delivered remarks as sponsors of Kayak Mass 2024.
The Carnival, of course, it is very safe. It is very unique. There is no place in the world that one can go to witness a Shakespeare Mass, colorfully dressed masqueraders reciting lines of William Shakespeare from Julius Caesar. I mean, Carriacou is the place, and it is growing, and everyone, they're certainly coming to enjoy our Mass.
We are delighted to be the sponsor of Kayak Mass 2024, your premier cultural event. On Tuesday, one of us will go to represent the company as we accept the Best Corporate Citizen Award from the Hillsborough Secondary School. I say this to say that we continue to support you, the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, sports, culture, education. You can count on us. We don't believe that government can do it alone, but government and the private sector can certainly get it done.
Discover and relish corn's goodness is the theme that guided the 2023 Carriacou Corn Festival, now in its 7th year. The festival, which has been growing in participation over the years, showcases a variety of products prepared from corn, including kuku, cornbread porridge, kuku poa, roast corn, among other dishes. Dexter Lendor is one of the founders and coordinators of this unique event, and he believes that it has earned its place on the calendar of events.
Carriacou has been known for growing a lot of corn in the days, and when we sat and discussed the whole idea, to do something different, the first thing that came to mind was corn, and we had no other choice than to, use that product. In those days, I'm probably young and only learning about it, that all, around the island, people used to plant corn because it was the way of life. It was the food, it was the drink, it was everything corn. And, they have it 7 days a week. And so, we thought about if we use that product, we can actually, bring back some memories and have people identify with the past and in those days. And so that's where it actually came from. So we decided to go with it, and if you realize the amount of products that we have, we found that we can actually do so much with corn. So that's why we're actually doing a display here today.
Lendo says although Carriacou is known for growing a large quantity of corn, due to the time of the festival, the committee had to turn to farmers on mainland Grenada for additional supply in order to adequately cater to patrons.
If you know the season in Carriacou, it actually we get a lot of rain between April, May, June. And so the corn takes about 3 months to produce. And so by the time we get into October, it's a little bit difficult to actually have corn available. So we actually source a lot of corn. But the plan with new, Nawasa installing new water system here in Carriacou, the plan is to actually work with the agriculture department to see if we can get our local farmers to use a sort of irrigation system so that we can have corn, especially for this time of the year. But most of our corn is actually coming from Grenada.
Dolly from Vermont, USA, and Chase from New Mexico, both visitors to the island, were fascinated by the event and how tasty the dishes were.
Well, we've never been to one, and so we came in 2 hours early because we didn't remember what time it was, but it's a lot of nice people. It's wonderful food. We've had over half of the things now, and we really, really have enjoyed them.
So, which of the foods that you ate that you're really happy with, all prepared from corn?
Oh, guys, my husband's waiting for the corn soup, and I'm waiting for that as well. I haven't had it yet, so.
So, is this an event that you would come back to another time?
Absolutely. All this, it's vibrant, and everybody joins in, and there's people from all over the country, different countries, and I like visiting with people like that. So, and all the natives are awesome. They've helped us out. They've shared us with whatever they had over there, and it's just they're very helpful, and I've really enjoyed that. So, I hope it really comes back next year too. I'll be here.
I've had a couple of things before, so I tried some new things today, like the pork stew and 2 different cornbreads that I haven't had on the island before. And they were great. They were awesome.
So, is the Corn Fest something that you would like to come back to next time?
Yes, and I will be back next year, so I will be back. I got to make it an annual event now.
The day's event, which began in the early hours of the morning of October 29th, was held at the grounds of the popular Footprint Bar close to the Lauriston Airport. It featured performances by Mr. Golden and a number of Carriacou's cultural traditions, including string band music and maypole dancing. Representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture, Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association, Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, Grenada Bureau of Standards, Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, the Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program, as well as farming organizations gathered at the National Stadium on Wednesday for the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture Accountability Seminar. The annual event offers an occasion for ICA to present its accomplishments for the previous year and to outline its upcoming activities. Additionally, it serves as a platform for recipients and stakeholders to offer input on how ICA's efforts can be refined and directed for greater impact. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Aaron Francois, acknowledged ICA as one of the ministry's key strategic partners, highlighting its valuable support in areas such as trade issues, composting, and backyard gardening initiatives.
Over the years, we have been extremely happy in terms of the work that ICA has been doing. We know, without any doubt, that our collaboration with ICA going forward will continue to bear great fruits. And I say that in the context of what the government has pledged in terms of the development of the agricultural sector. You all well know, probably even better than me, because you hear the Prime Minister and his cabinet ministers speak about it all the time. Agriculture is one of the strategic sectors that the government has pledged to for the transformation of the national economy.
The ICA Accountability Seminar coincides with its ongoing implementation of the medium-term plan spanning from 2022 to 2026. This plan outlines the Institute's focal areas and initiatives for the coming years. ICA representative in the Eastern Caribbean states, Greg Rollins, said as part of its commitment to executing the medium-term plan, ICA will play a significant role in assisting member states in reducing their expenditure on food imports.
For countries in the Caribbean, such as Grenada, to achieve enhanced food security and greater self-reliance, there will be a need for action in a number of key areas, including a more focused identification on those products for which available resources, land, water, etc., allow for increased productivity, production, and delivery of products at affordable prices to consumers. The provision of policies and incentives, including trade policy instruments that provide adequate space for local producers to maintain a presence in the market. The adoption of technologies and farming practices and risk management instruments that really address the issue of resilience and the adverse effects and impacts of climate change. And much greater focus on the strengthened capacity to transform and add value to primary products through value-added processing.
The key priority areas for 2023 encompass reinforcing existing partnerships and establishing new ones, enhancing the bioeconomy and supporting producer groups, concentrating on actions that enhance climate resilience, and intensifying efforts in resource mobilization. Gregory Delsol, a technical specialist at ICA, elaborates on the significance of resource mobilization.
One of the things that we want to sell to our collaborators, the Ministry of Agriculture, other ministries, is look to us, yes, to provide, but also look to us to provide services to you as well. We have resources, especially human resource capacity, across the hemisphere, across the Eastern Caribbean. So let us partner in that way with ICA to get some of the things that we want to get done. There are resources that come from other institutions, be it the World Bank, be it the GIS, be it the UNDP. We at ICA, we want to offer ourselves to you to implement not necessarily the whole project, but sometimes various components of it. I think we bring not just the ICA delegation in Grenada, but we bring other resources across the ECS and across the hemisphere. So we want to implore on our collaborators that we are there to give but we're also here to provide additional value to you by offering our services.
We take our final break. Still to come, Homes for the Elder receive gifts from Confucius Institute at TAMCC.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it is crucial for all of us to conserve water at home. When washing my fruits and vegetables, I use a bowl of water, and later I reuse it to water my plants. This is how I save water at home. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back. 3 institutes for senior citizens were the recent beneficiaries of household and food supplies from the Confucius Institute at the T.A. Community College as part of its commemoration of the annual Chinese Double Ninth Festival in October. The festival is celebrated on the 9th day of the 9th lunar month in China. Director at the Confucius Institute, Chin Yi, students and other representatives from the institute visited residents at Richmond Hill Geriatric Facility, Chichester Home for the Aged, and Grandans Home for the Aged. The director is pleased that the institute was able to fulfill another promise to the institutions and highlighted plans for the new year.
So on this day, on this occasion, we show our respect and the good care of the elders in China. And every year, the Confucius Institute at the T.A. Community College celebrates this traditional Chinese festival by making contributions to the nursing homes in Grenada. And we made the contributions of daily necessities, like the food, okay, and everyday things they need every day in their everyday life. This year, we offer the traditional Chinese musical performance on a very typical traditional Chinese musical instrument, which is called guzheng in China. It has a history of over 2,500 years, and it looks like harp, but it's traditional Chinese musical instrument or Chinese harp. So in the future, we would like to offer more communications for the elders, and we believe that communications will provide more valuable things for the elders in their everyday life. So we found in this year's activity that the elders, the Grenadian elders, are very much interested in Chinese culture. So we would like to offer more this kind of communications for cultural exchange and for cultural stories, for cultural things, that so we can make the local Grenadian elders know more about China.
His Excellency Marcelo Suarez Salvia, Ambassador of the People's Republic of Argentina to Grenada, has reaffirmed Argentina's commitment to strengthening bilateral relations with Grenada in all areas of mutual interest. He was at the time presenting his credentials to Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade. The first ambassador to Grenada was designated in June 1975. Since the establishment of diplomatic relations, Grenada has benefited in significant ways in areas of mutual interest. Grenada received COVID-19 detection kits and 11,000 doses of vaccines during the pandemic.
Argentina and Grenada have shared values that are palpable at the bilateral and multilateral levels. Both of our nations have shown a commitment to protecting its democratic traditions and delivering educational and economic opportunities to its citizens. Your Excellency, I intend to make it clear that Argentina has a strong commitment to Grenada and will always be there for Grenada and its people. I will personally make sure that this endeavor is upheld during my tenure as ambassador to your beautiful country. Grenada will continue to be prioritized by the Argentina technical cooperation in the region with identified projects in several sectors.
Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade welcomed Ambassador Suarez Salvia to Grenada and wished him a successful tenure. She expressed her gratitude for the strong ties of friendship and cooperation between Grenada and Argentina.
Grenada and other OECS countries have benefited from your assistance over the years. We deeply appreciate the assistance given during the COVID-19 pandemic, which we have all rebounded from, thankfully. The issue of climate change is of great concern to our country, and it poses an existential threat to the countries of the region as island nations. And mitigating these adverse climate change effects is of paramount importance, and we are highly appreciative of the support you have given in the past. Your Excellency, Grenada will continue to collaborate with the Republic of Argentina on issues of mutual concern as we work towards deepening the relationship between our two governments and peoples.
That story brings an end to this week in review, ending Friday, November 3rd. Until next time, thank you for joining us. I'm Rikisha St. Louis.